Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial nears turning point as prosecution prepares to rest case. The high-profile federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is approaching a critical juncture. Prosecutors are expected to rest their case on Monday, June 24, following the conclusion of the government's testimony last Friday, June 21, when they called their 34th and final witness. This move will open the door for Combs' defense team to begin presenting their case, marking the next phase of what has been a closely watched and complex legal battle. The trial, now entering its sixth week, has captivated public attention due to the serious nature of the charges and the star power of the accused. Combs, a music industry titan and entrepreneur known worldwide for his influence and success, faces grave allegations that could significantly impact his legacy and freedom. The case is being heard in a federal court overseen by U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian. Prosecution's case, final witnesses and key testimonies. The prosecution strategy has involved building a detailed narrative around a criminal enterprise allegedly operated by Combs and his associates for over 2 decades. The charges brought against Combs include sex trafficking, racketeering, and a range of related crimes such as arson, bribery, and kidnapping. Central to the government's case are the testimonies of 2 women, Casandra Cassie Ventura, Combs' former longtime girlfriend, and a woman identified only by the pseudonym Jane. Both women have provided accounts of harrowing experiences involving Combs. According to prosecutors, Combs coerced Ventura and Jane into participating in drug-fueled, marathon sex sessions with male escorts. These sessions, described by Jane as hotel nights, and by Ventura as freak-offs, sometimes extended for days. Prosecutors allege that these encounters were not consensual but rather orchestrated as part of a broader scheme to exploit and traffic individuals for sexual purposes. The government's final witness, Brendan Paul, a former personal assistant to Combs, took the stand on Friday to describe the intense demands of working for the music mogul. Paul testified that his role involved extensive responsibilities and long hours. His testimony provided a glimpse into the inner workings of Combs' household and business operations during the relevant period. Paul worked for Combs from late 2022 through March of last year, coinciding with federal raids on Combs' residences. Paul's testimony also touched on the day of the raids, during which he was arrested on drug-related charges. However, these charges were dropped after Paul successfully completed a drug diversion program, an outcome that prosecutors disclosed during court proceedings. This detail underscores the complexity of the case and the intertwined personal and legal challenges faced by individuals connected to Combs. Defense position, denials and expected testimony. Combs' defense team, led by attorney Mark Agnifilo, has vigorously denied the allegations presented by the prosecution. They argue that both Ventura and Jane participated willingly in the encounters and reject claims of coercion or trafficking. The defense intends to challenge the credibility of the government's witnesses and highlight inconsistencies in their accounts. Agnifilo has indicated that the defense is prepared to rest its case by Tuesday or Wednesday of the coming week. Defense attorneys are expected to call witnesses and present evidence aimed at dismantling the prosecution's narrative. This phase will be crucial in shaping the jury's understanding of the facts and ultimately determining Combs' fate. Allegations against Combs and the criminal enterprise. The charges brought against Sean Combs go beyond the immediate sex trafficking allegations. The indictment accuses him of orchestrating a criminal enterprise involving a network of employees and associates who allegedly committed serious crimes in support of his operation. These include arson, bribery, and kidnapping, indicating a wide-reaching and sophisticated criminal apparatus. Prosecutors claim that Combs used his influence and resources to maintain control over this enterprise, leveraging intimidation and illicit activities to protect his interests. The government's portrayal paints a picture of a powerful individual who allegedly exploited his position to commit and conceal multiple crimes over a sustained period. Legal and cultural implications. This trial holds significant legal and cultural weight, given Combs' prominence in the entertainment industry and his public persona. A conviction on these charges could result in substantial prison time and a permanent stain on his reputation. Conversely, a not guilty verdict would represent a major vindication for Combs and could impact public perceptions of high-profile figures accused of similar crimes. The case also contributes to ongoing national conversations about sex trafficking, consent, and the abuse of power within celebrity circles. It highlights the challenges victims face in coming forward and the complexities prosecutors encounter in proving such cases beyond a reasonable doubt. Summary of key trial developments. On June 21, prosecutors called their 34th and final witness, Brendan Paul, a former assistant to Combs. Paul detailed the demanding nature of his role and confirmed his employment period coincided with federal raids on Combs' properties. Paul was arrested on drug charges the day of the raids, which were later dropped after a diversion program. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey announced the government will rest its case on Monday. Combs' lead attorney Mark Agnifilo stated the defense will likely rest by Tuesday or Wednesday. Government star witnesses Cassie, Ventura and Jane testified about coerced sex sessions, which Combs' attorneys deny. Charges also include racketeering and criminal enterprise crimes like arson, bribery and kidnapping. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. What to expect next? As the prosecution concludes, the courtroom will shift its focus to the defense's presentation. This will involve cross-examination of government witnesses, introduction of defense witnesses, and presentation of any evidence supporting Combs' innocence. Following the defense case, closing arguments will summarize both sides' positions before the jury deliberates. The trial's outcome will depend heavily on the jury's assessment of witness credibility and the strength of the evidence presented. It remains to be seen whether the defense can successfully counter the prosecution's allegations or if the government will secure a conviction on one or more counts.